Welcome to Hitchcock's Picks. Today, we're taking a terrifying journey through the 18 top horror movies of the last 30 years. And here's the twist. This isn't just any list. Starting with thrilling psychological scares and ending with some of the most bone-chilling supernatural horrors. Each movie on this list gets progressively scarier as we go on. In my opinion, by the time we reach the final film, you'll be sleeping with the lights on. Ready to find out which horror movies will test your nerves? Let's dive into the fear, starting with number 1. Okay, let's now get back to a list. And the least scary, The Black Phone, 2021 thriller.
You know what I do when I have a bad dream? I close my eyes and I think of something.
Number 16 on our list is Triangle, 2009, a mystery horror movie. For me, Triangle is one of those hidden gems that blew me away when I first watched it. The movie follows Jess, a woman caught in a time loop aboard a mysterious ship. What makes it so gripping is that every time she tries to escape, things get darker and more twisted. The film messes with your mind. You think you know what's happening, but the story takes so many unexpected turns that you're left questioning everything by the end. Melissa George carries the film with a strong emotional performance. You really feel her confusion and desperation as she struggles to break free from the cycle. The movie's eerie, desolate setting on an abandoned ship adds to the mystery. Each frame is filled with tension, and the visual clues are there if you're sharp enough to catch them. The pacing is tight. It keeps you guessing, revealing just enough to pull you deeper into the mystery. The film is full of twists, and they're cleverly woven into the plot, making you want to rewatch it just to see what you missed. Well, is it worth watching? Yes, definitely. If you love mind-bending thrillers that keep you guessing until the very end, Triangle is a must-watch. I actually love movies that makes you think about them after they're finished, and then you have to talk about them with your friends and family for hours. That's the movie I want to rewatch.
Everything you see, you have seen before.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. I want to play a game.
No, great. Let's get to number 15 on our scary movies list. Saw is one of those movies that left a real impact on me when I first saw it. It's gritty, it's intense, and it's more than just blood and gore. It's a twisted psychological game. The plot revolves around two men trapped in a room by a sadistic killer known as Jigsaw, who forces his victims to make impossible choices to survive.
I'm sick of it all. We're out of time.
For me, it's a clever traps and moral dilemmas. It's not just a slasher film. It's about how far people will go to survive, which adds a deeper layer to the horror. The acting is raw and believable. Saw is grimy, claustrophobic setting really amps up the intensity. Everything feels dirty and hopeless, which perfectly matches the tune of the movie. The pacing keeps you glued to the screen, with moments of calm that quickly escalate into brutal edge-of-your-seat tension. The twist at the end, one of the most and the best in horror story. It still blows my mind every time I think about it. And the tune is dark, gritty, and full of psychological horror. It's not just about the blood, it's about the mental toll on the characters and honestly on the viewers too. So is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. If you're into horror with a psychological edge and the slashes as well, and you love a good twist in movies, Saw is a must-see. Just be prepared, because it's intense actually. Personally, I don't like movies with a lot of blood in them, and I don't like slashes. But if you're into these kind of movies, this is, I think, the best in them, and you will see lots of blood during the whole movie.
Live or die. Make your choice.
How the characters navigate their silent world. The stakes feel incredibly high every step of the way. It's a nerve-wracking, emotional journey. The focus on family and survival adds a layer of heart to the horror. And is it worth watching? Definitely. A Quiet Place is a masterclass in tension and unique storytelling. It's a horror film that grabs you emotionally as well as it scares you to death.
Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
13 on the list is Talk to Me. Talk to Me took me by surprise with its fresh take on supernatural horror. It follows a group of friends who discover a way to communicate with the spirits by using an embalmed hand. Of course, things go horribly wrong when they push the boundaries too far. What hit me was how intense and unsettling the possession scenes are. It's not your typical ghost story. It feels raw, unpredictable, and deeply unsettling. The young cast delivers, especially Sophie Wilde. Her performance as Mia brings real emotional depth to the chaos that unfolds. The visuals are gritty and disturbing. The possession scenes are shot in a way that makes you feel the fear and loss of control. It builds steadily, with eerie moments giving way to all-out horror as the story escalates.
Now say,
It grips you right from the start. Definitely, the story has twists that catch you off guard, keeping the tension high until the final moments. The tone is dark, visceral, and leaves you feeling unsettled.
So my mom, she was trying to reach out. I'm here.
There's a lot of emotional weight behind the scares. And is it worth watching? Absolutely. If you're into supernatural horror, it feels fresh and intense. Talk to Me is a must-watch. I'm giving Talk to Me a solid 4 out of 5. This really knows how to get onto your skin and deliver some genuine scares.
You're never gonna stop.
What happened to you?
First, they bound her. Then they ripped out her tongue, poisoned her, paralyzed her, forced her to swallow the cloth. What is that?
When I watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe, I wasn't expecting it to be so eerie. It's about a father-son team of coroners who uncover strange and terrifying clues while performing an autopsy on an unidentified woman. The tension builds in such a confined, claustrophobic setting. This movie stands out from its rivals because of its simplicity. Most of the film takes place in one room, yet the atmosphere is thick with dread. The slow reveal of Jane Doe's secrets keeps you hooked. Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch give solid, believable performances. They ground the supernatural elements with real emotional depth. The morgue setting is used perfectly to create a sense of isolation and dread. The lighting and close-up shots make you feel like you're right there with them, trapped in the mystery. And about the pacing of the movie, it's a slow and deliberate, but in a good way, and not boring at all. Every discovery adds another layer of mystery, keeping the suspense tight throughout the whole movie. And about twists, yes, they're chilling. The more they uncover about Jane Doe, the more terrifying the situation becomes, leading to a truly unexpected ending. The tone is claustrophobic, tense, and unsettling. The film has an atmosphere of dread that never lets up. It is worth watching definitely. If you enjoy a slow burn supernatural thriller that keeps you guessing, The Autopsy of Jane Doe delivers. And on the scare factor, I'm giving The Autopsy of Jane Doe a 3 out of 5. It is its creepy moments, but it doesn't quite hit the same level of fear as some of the others on this list.
I'm gonna follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you. Wherever you are, it's somewhere walking straight for you.
It Follows is one of those films that creeps up on you, literally. It's about a young woman who is stalked by a supernatural entity after a sexual encounter. The twist? This thing can take any human form, and it's always walking towards you, slowly but relentlessly. What makes this movie stand out is that it struck me was the sense of constant dread. The idea that something is always coming for you, no matter where you are, adds a level of anxiety that lingers long after the movie ends. Micah Monroe leads the cast with a strong, relatable performance. She captures the growing fear and paranoia perfectly. The visual style is striking. The use of wide, open spaces contrasts with a looming threat that's always in the background. It's beautifully shot in a way that makes you constantly scan the screen for danger. The pacing is slow and methodical, which works perfectly for the story. The constant, slow approach of the entity builds the tension over time. And about the twists, there aren't many big twists, but the film's unique concept is enough to keep you on edge. The real surprise is how much it gets under your skin. The tune is unnerving, with a sense of unavoidable doom that sticks with you.
You don't believe me. Mom? No, it's me. Everything's okay.
The simplicity of the horror makes it all the more terrifying. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely. It Follows is a refreshingly original horror film that's as creepy as it is thought-provoking. I'm giving It Follows a 4 out of 5. This one builds tension in such a unique way, and the slow, creeping dread really sticks with you.
Wherever you are, it's somewhere walking straight for you. All you can do is pass it along to someone else.
Writing it in.
Jesus, this looks like something bit you.
Now, number 10 on our list. Paranormal Activity had me hooked from the start. It's about a couple who set up cameras in their house to document the strange occurrences that have been haunting them. What starts off small, creepy noises quickly escalates into full-blown terror. This movie stands out from its rivals because of its simplicity. There are no flashy effects or jump scares. It's all about subtle creeping fear. The found footage style makes it feel real and personal, like you're watching something you shouldn't be. The performances feel natural and unscripted, which adds to the believability of the story. You can feel their growing fear and helplessness as the paranormal activity intensifies. The found footage style works perfectly here. It adds to the feeling of authenticity and unease, especially in those quiet, dark moments when you're just waiting for something to happen. It's a slow burn, with tension gradually building until things spiral out of control. The pacing is key to why it works so well. There are a few shocking moments that completely catch you off guard, particularly the ending, which still haunts me. It's unsettling, with a growing sense of dread kind of tune that creeps up on you really. The movie plays on your fear of the unknown, which is its strongest asset. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely. Paranormal Activity redefined the found footage genre and remains one of the most effective supernatural horror films. I'm giving Paranormal Activity a solid 4 out of 5. The found footage style and eerie atmosphere make it a standout, and it definitely delivers some unforgettable scares. Plus, it's said to be based on a true story we don't know. But this thing really adds an extra layer of horror to the experience.
What is it?
Alright, now let's talk about number 9. We are slowly getting to the more scarier movies. The Ring. The Ring is a movie that sticks with you long after it ends. It's about a cursed videotape that kills anyone who watches it within 7 days. As the clock ticks down, a journalist must uncover the tape's dark origins to save herself and her son. What got me was the eerie atmosphere and the iconic image of Samara crawling out of the TV. It's a haunting visual that's become legendary in horror movies. The concept of a cursed videotape adds a modern twist to a ghost story. Naomi Watts delivers a strong, believable performance. You really feel her desperation as she races against time to unravel the mystery. The washed-out color palette and clean settings give the film a cold, unsettling vibe. Every scene feels drenched in dread, and the use of disturbing imagery keeps you on edge. The pacing is well paced with a steady build-up of tension as the mystery unfolds. The mix of investigation and horror keeps you engaged throughout the whole movie. The movie's ending, with its final twist, is one of the best reveals in horror. It leaves you feeling unsettled just when you think the danger is over. And the tune is eerie and relentless, with a sense of impending doom that doesn't let up until the very last scene. And so, is it worth watching? Definitely. The Ring is a classic that helped define early 2000s horror and still packs a punch today. For the scare factor, I'm giving The Ring a 4 out of 5. The unsettling atmosphere and that cursed videotape make for some seriously creepy moments. This one sticks with you long after it's over, and it's definitely one of the more haunting films on the list.
Before you die, you see the ring. See the ring, see the ring. See the ring. You see the ring. You see the ring. You see the ring.
The Grudge had me feeling on edge the entire time. This is number 8 on the list. It's about a house cursed by a violent spirit that dooms anyone who enters. This story unfolds in a non-linear fashion, revealing how each character falls victim to the vengeful curse. The movie stands out for me because it's the terrifying visuals, especially Echo's crawl and that bone-chilling crack she makes. The movie's filled with disturbing images. They stay with you long after you've watched it. Sarah Michelle Gellar does a solid job, but the real stars are the ghosts. The fear they evoke doesn't rely on dialogue. It's all about their presence. The film uses a lot of shadows and dark spaces to build tension. The way it slowly reveals the ghosts, often in the background, makes the scares feel more impactful. The pacing. It's non-linear storytelling, and it keeps you on your toes, with each segment revealing more of the curse's horrifying reach. It's a constant escalation of fear. It doesn't have many big twists, but the reveal of how inescapable the curse is hits hard. There's no beating this evil, just inevitable doom. It's aggressive and relentless. The atmosphere of dread never lets up, and you're constantly waiting for the next scare to come. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely. The Grudge delivers some of the creepiest ghost scenes ever in the history of cinema, and it's a must-watch for fans of supernatural horror. I'm giving The Grudge a 4 out of 5. The terrifying ghostly encounters and eerie atmosphere make this one a real nightmare. Its creepy visuals and unsettling vibe will definitely keep you on edge long after the credits roll.
Dalton's room. There was something in there with him.
Number 7 on our list, Insidious. Okay, let's stop that. Insidious had me completely hooked with its terrifying atmosphere. It's about a family whose son falls into a mysterious coma, only to discover that he's trapped in a realm filled with evil spirits. The movie dives into astral projection, which adds a unique spin to the haunted house genre. This movie stands out. Why? Because fully it's the concept of the further, and not mere spirit world that feels like a twisted dream. The jump scares are also perfectly timed and genuinely frightening. Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne are great as a terrified parents, but Lynn Shy as the psychic really steals the show. Her performance adds a layer of authenticity to the supernatural elements. The film's visual style is creepy and atmospheric. The use of shadows and eerie lighting, especially in the further, keeps you on edge. The pacing is sharp, with tension steadily building from the quiet unease of the opening to the all-out terror in the later scenes. It never lets up. There are several effective twists, but the biggest shock comes towards the end, leaving you haunted even after the credits roll. It's filled with dread, and the supernatural elements feel more disturbing than your typical ghost story. It has a chilling atmosphere that stays with you forever. So is it worth watching? Based on what I said, definitely. Insidious. Is one of the scariest films of the last decade and a must-see for anyone who loves supernatural horror. I'm giving Insidious a 4 out of 5. It's packed with intense jump scares and a creepy supernatural vibe that keeps you on edge. The eerie atmosphere and haunting imagery make it a standout in modern horror.
It's your son.
Well, now let's talk about number 6, Hereditary, a psychological supernatural movie. Hereditary is a movie that truly disturbed me on a deep level. It starts as a family drama and slowly spirals into something far darker, involving grief, trauma, and a sinister supernatural force. It's one of those films that keeps you thinking long after it's over. And why it stands out? For me, it's the way Hereditary blends psychological horror with supernatural elements. The family's unraveling feels painfully real, and the horror seeps slowly, making it all the more terrifying. Toni Collette gives a powerhouse performance, honestly one of the best in modern horror. Her portrayal of a mother spiraling into madness is unforgettable. The rest of the cast, including Alex Wolff and Millie Shapiro, also delivers strong performances. The cinematography is hauntingly beautiful. The slow pans, the dollhouse-like framing, and the eerie lighting all contribute to an overwhelming sense of dread. The pacing is a slow burn, but that works to its advantage. The movie builds tension gradually, letting the horror sink into your bones before exploding in the final act. There are several jaw-dropping moments they don't see coming. Each twist hits hard, leading to a final that left me speechless. The tune is suffocatingly dark and unsettling, filled with emotional and psychological horror that's just as impactful as the supernatural scares. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely, this is a must. Hereditary is one of the most disturbing and well-crafted horror films of the past decade. It's not just scary, it's deeply affecting. For the scare factor, I would have loved to give Hereditary a 4.5 out of 5, but since we're sticking to whole numbers, I'm going with a 4 out of 5. Honestly though, it could easily be a 5 out of 5. This movie is deeply unsettling and hits on a psychological level that few horror films do.
Mom? I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening? Nina! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Please stop! Mom, what's happening? Make it stop! Make it stop!
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Number 4 on our list, a supernatural horror, The Omen. When it comes to true horror classics, The Omen is at the top of the list. It's about an American diplomat who realizes his adopted son, Damien, might actually be the Antichrist. This movie defines the supernatural horror genre, and its chilling atmosphere stays with you long after you've finished watching. What makes it stand out is the sheer terror it evokes. The story of a seemingly innocent child being the embodiment of evil is a disturbing concept that the Omen pulls off flawlessly. George Peck gives an incredible performance, portraying a father torn between love and the terrifying realization that his child is evil. The entire cast adds to the film's unsettling tone. The visual style is haunting, with iconic scenes like the hanging or the graveyard sequence that are etched into horror history. Every shot feels calculated to keep you on edge. The pacing is slow but relentless. The film takes its time laying out the mystery, leading to some of the most intense and terrifying moments in horror history. The film's final twist is legendary. The reveal about Damien is deeply unsettling and one of the best in supernatural horror. The tone is dark, foreboding, and completely terrifying. This is a movie that defines real horror, but leaves you feeling uneasy even after the credits roll. So is it worth watching? Absolutely. If you're looking for a supernatural horror classic that delivers real terror, The Omen is essential. This is horror at its finest. For the scare factor, I'm giving The Omen a 4 out of 5. This classic is packed with an eerie atmosphere and chilling moments that really define supernatural horror. Its unsettling story about evil incarnate makes it one of the most iconic films of the genre. And if you're curious, there is also a new version, which its name is The First Omen, that was produced in 2024, that you can go and check out.
The Omen. If this is the truth, where does it end?
New details today in the grisly murders of a local family found earlier this week.
I didn't want to move.
Now, number 3 on our list, The Sinister, 2012, a horror supernatural. It is one of the scariest films I've ever watched. It's about a true crime writer who discovers a series of home movies to reveal the horrifying fates of families linked to a demonic entity named Bagul. This movie takes supernatural horror to the next level and had me on edge the entire time. This movie stands out because it's the terrifying blend of found footage and supernatural horror. The home videos of the murders are some of the most disturbing scenes I've seen in any horror film. Ethan Hawke is fantastic as the lead. His portrayal of a man unraveling under the weight of the horror he's discovered makes the fear feel personal and real. The use of grainy, eerie home movies within the film adds a layer of realism to the horror. The cinematography enhances the dread, especially during the tension-filled moments leading up to each terrifying discovery. The pacing is excellent, building suspense with every clue the Hawke's character uncovers. By the time the supernatural elements fully reveal themselves, the tension is almost unbearable. The final twist hits hard and leaves you with a sense of lingering dread. The build-up to the reveal is so effective that it makes the ending feel all the more shocking. The tune is sinister and dread-filled. This film creates a feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, and also this thing intensifies as the story unfolds, making it one of the most disturbing supernatural horrors out there. So is it worth watching? Without a doubt. If you're seeking a movie that will make you experience real horror, Sinister is a top choice. It's terrifying in every sense of the word. So, based on what I just said, I'm giving Sinister a solid 5 out of 5. This one is pure nightmare fuel. The disturbing home videos, eerie atmosphere, and relentless tension make it one of the scariest films I've ever seen. If you're looking for a horror movie that will genuinely haunt you, this is it.
In the images themselves, and that they were gateways into his realm.
Right, it's 9:18. We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us.
Nothing.
What are you guys?
Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Number 2 on our list, the supernatural horror, The Conjuring, 2013. It's the pinnacle of modern supernatural horror, based on the real-life case files of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. This movie follows their investigation of a haunted farmhouse. What sets The Conjuring apart is its ability to deliver bone-chilling scares while maintaining a gripping narrative. And what makes this movie stand out is the tension and scares that are relentless. Director James Wan masterfully crafts moments of pure terror without relying on cheap jump scares. The haunted house setting is terrifyingly real, and every scene drips with suspense. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga shine as the Warrens, bringing both warmth and seriousness to their roles. They make you believe in the stakes, and their performance ground the supernatural elements. The visual style is stunning. The camera work and use of light and shadow keep you on the edge of your seat, especially in the film's most suspenseful moments. The period setting also adds to the film's eerie, timeless feel. The pacing is perfect, building tension with every supernatural occurrence. By the time the climax hits, you're fully immersed in the terror. The movie is full of effective twists and chilling moments that escalate as the Warrens uncover more about the malevolent force haunting the family. The tune is terrifying. This is a movie that builds real horror, not just through its scares, but through the overwhelming sense of evil that pervades every scene. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely yes. The Conjuring is one of the scariest movies of the last decade, and is essential viewing for anyone who loves supernatural horror. Watching this guarantees a true horror experience. On the scare factor, I'm giving The Conjuring a 5 out of 5. This movie is a masterclass in supernatural horror, with terrifying moments and an incredibly creepy atmosphere. The real-life basis for the story only adds to the fear factor, making it a must-watch for any horror fan.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams. She's standing in front of my mom's bed. Do you want to see him?
Yeah.
When the music stops, you see him in the mirror standing behind you.
Hey, where'd this come from?
I found it.
Well, let's both play. You really don't want me to play?
Captain Howdy said no.
Who's Captain Howdy?
Number 1 on our list, The Exorcist, 1973, a horror supernatural movie. For me, The Exorcist is the ultimate horror movie. It's not just one of the scariest films of all time. It's an experience that will shake you to your core. The story revolves around Reagan, a young girl possessed by a demonic force, and the battle to free her through an exorcism. Watching this movie is intense, and if you're looking for something that truly defines horror, this is it. What makes this movie stand out? What really strikes me is how real and terrifying the possessions feels. The way the film slowly builds to those shocking exorcism scenes, it's pure nightmare fuel. The atmosphere is chilling, and the horror is so raw that it sticks with you. Linda Blair as Reagan is unforgettable. Her transformation from an innocent girl to something truly horrifying still gives me chills. Maxwell Sado and Jason Miller also ground the film with such powerful performances. They make the supernatural feel so real. The gritty, almost documentary-like style makes it even scarier. The lighting, the effects, everything feels disturbingly authentic. Even after all these years, those exorcism scenes are terrifying to watch. The pacing is a slow burn, but that's what makes it work. The tension builds gradually, and when things start to go wrong, it's relentless. Once the exorcism begins, the fear just doesn't let up. There aren't a ton of twists, but the escalation of Reagan's possession is horrifying. The things that happen to her are beyond disturbing, and it just keeps getting worse. The tone is dark, oppressive, and deeply unsettling. The movie doesn't rely on cheap scares. It's a serious, intense take on good versus evil, and that makes it even scarier for me. So, is it worth watching? Without a doubt, it is. If you want to experience real horror, The Exorcist is a must. It's a film that stays with you long after you've finished watching, and for me, it's one of the scariest movies ever made. Clearly in the scare factor, I'm giving The Exorcist a 5 out of 5. Honestly, I placed it first on the list because it's the start of the best supernatural horrors out there. However, I understand that for some viewers, its age might show. The technology and effects weren't as advanced back then, so certain edits and costume designs might not seem as terrifying today. But don't let that fool you. This film still delivers some of the most chilling moments in horror history.
That thing isn't my daughter.
It is he who commands you. The power of Christ compels you.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Where'd you get this? On the shelf.
Number 2. The Babadook, 2014, a psychological supernatural horror. One of the most emotionally intense horror films, The Babadook explores grief and mental illness through the lens of a terrifying supernatural entity. It's both scary and thought-provoking.
It isn't real. It isn't real. It isn't real.
Hey, give me a smile.
Juno, are you sure we're going the right way?
I've never been lost in my life.
Number 3. The Descent, 2005, a survival horror, monster kind of movie. It is claustrophobic and nerve-wracking. The Descent follows a group of women trapped in an underground cave system where they're haunted by terrifying creatures. The blend of survival horror and monster terror makes it unforgettable. Alright, that's my list of the top horror movies of the last 30 years. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video and also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all future videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and also drop your favorite horror movie in the comments below, and let's see which one gets the most votes there. Also feel free to share any ideas for future videos. I'm always looking for new genres and themes to explore. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.